Hello, spacemen and spacewomen from around the world. Welcome back to VR Spaceman channel. Today, we will dive in my full trip in Detached VR, and as always, it have been a hell of a space ride to me. So buckle up, and I hope you will enjoy the review. Detached is a space exploration VR game that is built from ground up to VR. Its developer, Anchor Studios, advertised it as a 360 extreme VR experience in space. It have great immersion feeling, and they focus on the sudden and dramatic acceleration from free falling, twisting and rolling and rotating in 0G. You start the game with a tutorial to introduce you to the basic game movement function, and then you go to the first airlock to join your unit in space. In Detached, you will be in 0G for the whole game. You will never walk, you will always float in space in 360 degrees. You will be in your spacesuit with both oxygen and fuel markers displayed in front of you for the whole time, and you will need to always keep an eye on them and collect fuel tanks and oxygen tanks that are spread everywhere to recharge them on a regular basis. The main game mechanic is its locomotive system. You use your space jetpack to simulate actual spacewalk. Floating in space is wonderful, but it takes a while to get used to it, and it's not for new VR players. There are two main environments of the game, indoors and outdoors. The outdoors open space are extremely beautiful. They are well designed space environments with stars, planets, spaceships, debris, massive asteroids and more. Floating in space made me feel I am George Clooney in Gravity. Seeing the massive ringed planet froze me for the first time when I saw it, and it was a sight to behold. In open space, you will be searching for different kinds of hubs like power relay, communication stations, emergency bays and more. You will be always searching for neutron nanodes that act as batteries that you use to activate these terminals all the time. The indoor environments or the hubs are mostly simple mazes. You will need to master your spacesuit 3 main modules, the boost, the shield and the rockets, to navigate your way through these mazes. There are time trials, and you have to bring the system online. Your success mostly will depend a lot on how you master your jetpack navigation in 0G. Detached is hard because there is no markers whatsoever or quests or guides, and it can be overwhelming in the start, especially that you find it in the hard way that asteroids after all look quite similar one way or another. The game also saves at the end of every objective instead of the start, which make you repeat the whole stage over if you die, and I found this to be annoying, to be honest. The game overall art design is good. From start to end you will feel you are in space, graphics are beautiful and detailed, but I have to keep the pixel density around 100 to avoid having frame rate drops. I really have to say that the game succeeded in capturing the feeling of being lost in space alone, especially with the very nice orchestra music and the clear sound effects from the jetpack. The story in Detached is minimum. You simply have to survive and keep activating your spaceship terminals one after another. You are trying to catch your unit, which is getting attacked by unknown enemies. You think they are pirates, but they are not, and later on you'll get a better understanding on what is really going on. But it's a pretty straightforward story. The game has 3 different modes. Also it have a PvP mode which is quite dead by now. From a replayability perspective, I don't think anyone coming back to replay the whole game after completing it, but it's cool to go on the easy mode and must just jet to space, enjoy being an astronaut in a spacewalk. Of course, until you run out of oxygen or fuel or you hit something and die, like I died many times in the game. When it comes to performance, in the first few levels in the games I didn't have many performance issues. But in later stages the space would be crowded with many objects and debris that I had to keep lowering my resolution to get more sustainable frame rates. The game allowed me to play with the pixel density, and it's up to you to decide what you prefer, better performance or better graphics. But in general it's a heavy game to run compared to other space games I played. And to have a stable frame rates, I had to lower the pixel density lower than I would prefer. I spent 10 hours playing Detached from start until completion. The game really excels as a spacewalking simulator with wonderful views. Any space fan should try this game, but be careful that the game mechanics of searching and activating terminals over and over, especially with how the game saves, can be boring and a little bit frustrating, unless you really enjoy the feeling that you are in zero G. Applying actual physics that allow my body to float with no inputs and just look into the galaxies and stars and the asteroids around me was a dream that came true. But is it worth the steady learning curve and the constant dying and repeating? I think it's gonna be different from one to another. For me, I would say yes, but who said space is always easy and a funny place? If you want real space feelings, then get ready to be detached from your life for at least 8 to 10 hours if you play Detached VR. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this review and you want to see more VR space games reviews like this, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to VR Spaceman channel. Also share your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to hear your detached story, and also suggest to me which other VR space game you would like me to review in the future. So until the next time, keep exploring space and embrace its superior joy in virtual reality.
No fuel.